Attack on Titan Season 4, the final Attack on Titan anime season. But is it really the end? So what's up guys, Foxen here. That's right, the final Attack on Titan season is coming up. It all ends with Season 4. But there's still potential for more Attack on Titan anime. Let's go ahead and look at this, and don't worry, this is a non-spoiler video. If you're hyped for Attack on Titan Season 4, can also smash that like, ring the bell, and let's dive into this. But first, today's video is sponsored by Dashlane. I'm sure you could relate too. You go to your Gmail, your Netflix, or even Crunchyroll account. You're like, okay, I know this email. And password 10 minutes later. Freaking Yeager, time to reset the password again this week. Dashlane now helps to remove this frustration. You could have your own password manager for free, which is so freaking useful on mobile. Dashlane even works on online checkout places. No more having to slowly type in your info, especially for those oh so special sites. You know the ones. All your private data is encrypted locally, not in the cloud, which means you could breathe easy about being secure. On top of this, Dashlane even has a VPN included. Why not make your stream secure too? You could go ahead and try Dashlane for free on your first device at dashlane.com/Foxen. If you like having this around, you can then upgrade to the premium service. Just use my code Foxen to get 25% off. Go ahead and click the link down below and download it to your PC or mobile device. Not only is this convenient, at the same time you are being extra awesome by supporting the channel. Option number 1, the Great Titan War anime series. During the final events of Attack on Titan Season 1, really with the basement reveal, you found out about some Titan War taking place in the past. One that should have involved all type of Titan battles. And you know the end result. It not only had Eldia losing their Titans, but really being forced to step down from being a world power. Naturally, I will point out you're all still waiting for new possible info about this event to be revealed, hopefully in the next and last 5 or so chapters. So Isayama, are you up for this? If you are, why not take the time to explore this? I would be really interested in seeing some of the Titans and the great families that held them. How did some of these function? It would especially be great to see Titans like the Attack Titan, Female Titan, and why not the Beast Titan in the hand of other characters long before the current holders. If nothing else, this Great Titan War series could give insight into the finer details of the Eldian King. History has said this guy lost, but how did those events unfold? Especially afterwards, moving his people to social distance on the island. As for the potential anime studio, right now that does depend on how Attack on Titan Season 4 turns out. Assuming everything goes well, I think Mappa Studio does seem up for the job, although I am open to other studios. There is a question about how long this could be. I could actually see it being around 12 episodes. Probably doesn't need to be longer than that. If they really want to go out with a bang, why not make this Great Titan War anime into an anime movie? I would prefer this movie format since it does give it the best potential for any animation production. Definitely leave your thoughts on this below. Option number 2, the Attack on Titan Before the Fall series. Honestly, how many of you have heard about Attack on Titan Before the Fall? I wouldn't be too surprised if a lot of you knew about it, especially those of you that watch regularly, since I do mention it pretty often. But how many of you have actually read it? Either way, with this Attack on Titan Before the series, this will technically be a prequel to Attack on Titan Season 1. You get to follow different trios set 70 years before the first anime episode. The story here follows Kuklo, who's known as the Titan Son. This guy had a very nice birthday. He was actually born from a pregnant mother who was swallowed up by a Titan. And you thought Eren had it bad. Really, what a way to be born into this cruel, cruel world. A different aspect to this actually shows the creation of the 3D maneuver gear. Some of the process and details here actually tie into some of the stuff that's going to come in Attack on Titan Season 4. If nothing else, it does showcase the desperate efforts of the Survey Corps to simply keep on going without getting shut down. Oh, doesn't that sound familiar? The actual story here does feel like a mixture of the Levi No Regrets anime spin-off with hints of the Uprising arc. It does feel like much more of a shonen tale compared to the current Attack on Titan story. Which, by the way, would you like to see a dedicated video on this? Like and comment if you do. As for the actual anime studio, it would be really great to have the WIT studio if they were up for the job, you know, for old time's sake. But honestly, at this point, I'd be really surprised if they got involved in anything Attack on Titan related. At least with anything involving them as the main studio. So, Mappa Studio? Or how about A1 Pictures or David Production? Those feel like two great options. And yes, of course, I do want someone like Kyoto Animation or Ufotable Studio. But I'm trying to be realistic, those have almost no chance. Next up, option 3, this Boruto type sequel, which would be definitely milking it. and hence the most controversial on this list. This would be following female Eren, Eren's kid, Mikasa's kid, Historia's kid. You may even see a little Levi Jr. running around, which makes me wonder who is the Mrs. Ackerman in this equation. And yes, just to hammer it down, this is perhaps my least favorite out of anything in this video, but I do need to mention this. There is a question as to whether there's even anything left that's that interesting to tell, which would be after the current events are over. Much like Boruto, it would be a way to keep the franchise alive and going. That said, I do feel like there's a decent amount of people that would want that to happen, for this franchise to keep on going no matter the cost. So let me actually flip this into something a little bit more positive, instead of just stretching it out into this money-making machine. And I do think Isayama would be up to this. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe 5 or 10 years later, post the Attack on Titan finale, just seeing where the characters are. I don't necessarily feel like it should be a full anime season. Perhaps just do a 30-minute to an hour OVA special. So think about it. Why not keep that option on the table? Next up, option 4, the Attack on Titan Junior High Season 2. This one should really not be a surprise for any of you watching. Attack on Titan Junior High originally started as being this parody spin-off series of the main series. You know how much I want this. I'm honestly shocked there hasn't been a season 2 yet. There's so much freaking potential here. I mean, you have minimal animation with this, the episodes are short, and it should be really cheap to make. Not to mention, this wasn't Wit Studio in the first place, a different studio. This of course would have the Attack on Titan name behind it. In all, there's so much merch potential for this. How has it not been done? It really seems like a no-brainer. With Attack on Titan Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3 out, you now even have more material to work with. I mean, even if you're somehow lost at more ideas, just go back to the original Attack on Titan Junior High manga. If you read the manga and compare it to the anime, these are vastly different. So either use material you haven't used, or take inspiration from it. Next option, number 5, related, Attack on Titan High School. I really hope they do Attack on Titan Junior High Season 2, but perhaps they want to upgrade. Just like with Attack on Titan Season 4, you have this other parody spin-off series, Attack on Titan High School. Perhaps they're waiting for Attack on Titan Season 4 to go on break before they actually spin this off. Honestly, for this one, there is a lot less material to work with. But hell, just get the guys that are working on Attack on Titan Junior High, get the director and writer for that anime. I'm sure they could come up with clever ideas for this series. Much like Attack on Titan Junior High, this wouldn't have some super intense animation, which means it's super cheap to make. And it would actually give you different merch potential. You know, the older characters but in a different chibi form. So let me know, which one would you rather see from the two? Again, both of these seem like they would print money. And they would actually be options that all Attack on Titan fans would love. How is it not a thing yet? Next up, an Attack on Titan short stories anime? So in case this is the first time you're hearing about this, over the years Isayama has released several short stories for various characters. Over time, some of these stories have been bundled up and actually released as a short book. And by short, I really do mean short. Most of these are a few pages max. A lot of these stories are actually set back in Attack on Titan Season 1 to the Season 3 era. I could possibly see this as a short anime web series. They might actually need to be expanded to be like 5 minutes each. Either do that weekly, or just bundle 3 or 4 of these character stories into a full anime episode. And just to be clear, don't expect anything too exciting from these. But more Attack on Titan anime is always welcomed. For example, I recall in one of these stories you had a character talking about their favorite meal. Might have been Mikasa. There's also a story about Levi, really hinting at how he improved his handwriting despite him being raised in the underground. Some of these short stories did dive into some of the side characters like Hitch, Marco before he was divided by 2, Commander Pixies, Rico, Petra, and a lot more, including nameless characters. Honestly, these aren't going to be the most exciting tales in the world, but at the same time, these are canon, and it would be clearly not milking the Attack on Titan franchise, I think. It would actually help add some extra meat to the story. If you think about it, it does make sense in story that a lot of these characters like Eren, Mikasa, and Levi don't have a lot of downtime. These short stories can help to show a different side to them. You know, when they're not killing titans, trying to take down their government, or busy fighting for freedom. So let me know, do you have any Attack on Titan character that you like to see more of? Bonus points if they're not in the top 10 characters, a side character. If they actually do go this route, I wouldn't mind if they actually explore other scenes and details outside of the short stories. For example, some information that may have been released in a Q&A. Of course, with some input from Freedom Sensei. Next up, Attack on Titan, the harsh mistress of the city. I'm actually more curious about this one. How many of you have even heard about this? In case you haven't, you go back to the Attack on Titan Season 1 anime. Recall when Reiner's thick-ass destroyed the Wall Maria Gate? Naturally, you had everyone scrambling and rushing to evacuate into Wall Rose. But have you ever wondered whatever happened to some of the settlements or districts that didn't get the Titan memo as soon as possible? This harsh mistress tale explores that horrible situation. The story follows Rito, a member of the garrison. Whatever happens when this district has this 15-year-old in charge, you now get to experience a secluded area slowly devolving into chaos. That's in one of the other left behind districts. Overall, you do have limited titans in this. It's a more human tale. It may feel more similar in tone to the Uprising arc. As for the possible studio, my first thought was with Studio, but again really going back to them not going back to Attack on Titan. So you have Mappa Studio or potentially another anime studio giving this a shot. Let me know if you have a preference. For the possible length of this story is actually 2 books. One anime core season feels about right, or about 10 to 12 episodes. Next up, Attack on Titan live action movie? So what was it, around a year or 2 years back, an Attack on Titan live action Hollywood movie actually got announced. Keep in mind this live action production is still ongoing. Whether that actually happens due to, you know what, ongoing global events is a different question. The current director attached is Andy. I do recall some anime people getting excited when this name got announced, Andy being the director of the It remake, the first one being super well received. It Chapter 2, let's just say it was a step down. This is actually why I wasn't one that got too hyped at the mention of the name. At the time, sure, Andy had one great movie out, but when you're talking about movies, one movie doesn't really spell this proven track record. It might have just been a fluke. Which, by the way, Andy is the current director attached to the new Flash movie. Honestly, part of me doesn't see this Attack on Titan movie going forward. If they are going to be waiting on Andy, at earliest it may not happen till 2025. Either way, I really can't say I've ever been happy at the thought of a live-action Attack on Titan movie. It really doesn't matter if you got a Chris Nolan or Steven Spielberg attached. Could you imagine trying to condense the Attack on Titan Season 1 story into 2 hours, 3 hours max for a movie? At best, they could try covering up to the Trust arc. That would still be condensing 13 episodes, which is almost 5 hours worth of content into just half that amount. Ever want to see Eren versus a female Titan? Better hope this first movie even breaks even. You're looking at around a $150 million budget film at the cheapest. Anything lower end, you might as well not even make it. But wait, Jerry, I could hear some of you saying, isn't there already a live-action Attack on Titan movie? Oh yes, the Japanese version. Yeah, that one. We don't talk about that. Has anyone here suffered through it? Or maybe, does anyone here want me to make a video on it? Definitely do like or comment if you want me to suffer some. That might be fun. This actually leads me into a brighter option. Instead of a live-action movie, how about a live-action TV series? Honestly, after suffering through several live-action movies released here in Japan, my faith in anything with the words live-action plus anime is pretty rock bottom. That said, a TV series would actually give the Attack on Titan story some room to breathe. If anything, perhaps it may be too much time. For a TV episode, you're looking at 40 to 60 minutes, which means this type of series could easily cover Attack on Titan Season 1 within a single season. The big question now becomes, who actually makes this? Who would be the cast for it? Would you rather see it on Netflix, Disney Plus, Apple Plus? Although I think anyone here would want HBO to get it. Since really, anything Attack on Titan related would need a high enough budget for the Titan CG and the special effects. As for the cast, honestly, I'm not really a TV guy, so I'm gonna ask you for suggestions. Is there anyone that you could see playing Eren, Armin, Mikasa, or Levi? As for some of the stuff you guys chose, based on the poll, almost 8,000 votes. The winner by a long shot, Attack on Titan Junior High Season 2, which honestly shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. If anything, it was surprising to see that a good chunk of you did want this Boruto type of series to happen. If you do have any other option not on this video, definitely let me know in the comments. By the way, really quickly, definitely do check out Dashlane. Keep in mind it is totally free to use, and each of you that does sign up does help to support the channel, especially during these tough times. So why not be freaking awesome? Anyway, bonus question for hardcore fans. From the options here, give me your best and worst. Just be sure to label it to make it easy to spot. Definitely be sure to subscribe and do watch my SAO God tier animation video. The last episode was freaking awesome. And I'll see you guys later.